Listen to your favorite shows live and on demand 24/7. Download the 77 WABC mobile app now. A common sense recap of the day's biggest stories. It's John Catsimatidis and Rita Cosby. Katz and Cosby on 77 WABC.
And joining us now is Tom Homan, the former Immigration and Customs Enforcement Director. Tom, great to have you back here on the show, Tom. First off, this enormous bust. We were just saying, 4 million fentanyl pills found on the Arizona border. It's the biggest in CBP, Customs and Border Protection history, and it weighed 1,000 pounds. I mean, talk about what that would have done to America.
Well, look, law enforcement is doing a great job. They're seizing a lot. The problem is they're seizing a lot means a lot's getting away. So, we got over 200,000 fentanyl overdose deaths. This open border is feeding it. So, God bless the men and women on the front line. They're doing the best they can. But, the Biden administration wants to take a policy, we're seizing most of it. That is just ridiculous. I've been in law enforcement for 3 decades. If you're seizing a lot, that means a lot's out there. So, and the deaths keep rising. Look, those who died from fentanyl this fiscal year is already surpassed last fiscal year. We still got a couple months left to go. So, this isn't getting better. No one's holding Mexico accountable. No one's holding China accountable. Nothing. This administration has not done a thing to get China to stop, producing the precursors that make this poison.
Who do they favor more, Iran or China? I mean, I hate to make jokes like that.
I've said it many times. President Trump made America great again. Joe Biden's made China great again.
And Iran. China, they made Iran zillionaires again.
They're poisoning this country. They're destroying this country between what they've done with the fentanyl, stealing our technology. Look at it, over 30,000 Chinese males crossed the border in 1 year. If this is a national security concern, 30,000 Chinese males military age just don't leave China without permission of China. So the government of China is deep involved in all these tens of thousands come to the United States, and people got to ask themselves, name a bigger national security issue than that.
Ed Cox.
Tom, do those Chinese military age males who are in good shape, do we track them? Do we follow where they go, what they're doing?
No, unless there's derogatory information that's done during the vetting. And here's the problem with the vetting. Most terrorists in this world aren't in any database, right? Unless they're encountered on a battlefield by DOD and they take a retina scan, or unless they're involved with a T3 undercover JTTF operation. We don't know who most terrorists even are. And do you think – and we only vet people against information that's available to us, like NCIC and III and some other, terrorist databases. But does anybody think China's going to share any national security information with us? No. Do you think Russia's going to share any national security information with us? Exactly. No. And Afghanistan the same way. It's like all these people they brought from Afghanistan, the so-called, bringing all these Afghanistan people that helped the military, and they brought them in by a bunch of all these refugees. Where do they get the information and vet them in? Because the terrorist organizations runs Afghanistan now. They're in charge. You think they're going to share national security information with us? No, the vetting procedure is weak at best.
I want to ask you, Tom, too, about my jaw dropped when I saw it was a Kamala Harris ad that came out talking about how great she's been on the border.
And stronger than Trump.
I mean, is there anybody who's buying this? And firsthand, is there any truth to that whatsoever?
No. We went for the most secure border in my lifetime. Illegal immigration at a 45-year low. And they unsecured the border on purpose, it wasn't mismanagement, it wasn't incompetence. They ran on open borders. You got to give them credit; they kept their promise. But we went from the most historic, the most secure border in history, to historic, never seen before in numbers. Now the story they're pushing right now. I'm writing an op-ed. I got the pen in my hand. I put it down to talk to you all. I'm writing an op-ed right now to talk about the false narrative that President Trump shut down legislation, the Senate border bill that would have fixed the border, and he didn't do it because he wanted to make it an election issue. Let's be clear on the facts here. First of all, who shut down what? The Democrats shut down H.R. 2 long before anybody talked about the Senate bill. And not only did they shut it down, at least the Senate bill, Republicans talked about it with them, but on the H.R. 2 bill, Chuck Schumer, after it passed the House, Chuck Schumer wouldn't put it on the floor for discussion. He wouldn't put it on the floor for a vote. So who shut down what? And the reason President Trump pushed back on the Senate bill, because he's not an idiot. Anybody that reads that bill, especially page 114 and 116, if you think that bill would fix the border, then you're an idiot. So people that think that bill will fix the border either didn't read it or they're just plain stupid. President Trump is not going to negotiate against no success. H.R. 2, we know it worked. We know it would work. Why? Because most of it was Trump's policies. We already proved it's going to work. So why would the president or anybody negotiate against known success? We wouldn't.
H.R. 2 really shut down the border, but this legislation that supposedly Trump stopped, millions would have come in under that legislation that was permitted, and that's assuming that would be enforced by Biden, who doesn't enforce it at all. So
exactly, they would allow 1.8 million at the minimum.
You would be ratifying illegal conduct, Tom. That's what that bill would have done. It would have said it's just swell. Let all these illegals in, and you're ratifying lawless conduct by this administration.
5,000 entries a day is okay with them, and that's 1.8 million a year. Not only that, the bill did nothing about child trafficking. It did nothing about female sex trafficking, and families and children were kept out of it. So child trafficking will still skyrocket. Sex trafficking will still skyrocket. And 5,000 a day before we took any steps to secure the border. Why 5,000? Why not one? Why not one? That's true border security.
Yeah, absolutely.
Thomas Homan, thank you so much for everything you do for America and continue to speak out for America. And we'll catch up with you again real soon.
Thank you, sir.
Janine Pirro here for Colonial Metals Group. Colonial Metals Group helps Americans protect their future with the most trusted store of wealth in human history, physical gold and silver. If you're retiring or retired, go to colonialmetalsgroup.com/Pirro for your free Janine Pirro Colonial Metals Group Retirement Protection Kit, or call 800-965-8004. 800-965-8004 now to receive a free home safe and up to $7,500 in free silver.